leaves of earth to current is the sons. Her children pledge each faithful heart to guard Guyana's lands, to foil the shock of rude invaders who violate our earth, to cherish and defend forever the state that gave them birth. We forge a nation's mighty soul, construct a nation's flame. Freedom our everlasting goal, courage and truth our aim. Unyielding in our quest for peace, like ancient heroes brave, to strive and never cease, with strength beyond the slave. Guyana plant the glorious first to faith prosperity, joining the universal search for worldwide community. Your people whatsoever breathe, may you are quality, with one forever changing, with all nations unity.
Marching towards the shining future, courage high, the past is gone. Before coming fear and counting mountain glory, sun and stone. The storm was dark and glory, through faith lightning flash and flame. On the Republic of Guyana, glorify Guyana's name. Forward, youthful nation, rang with power beyond man's might. May his strength forever gratitude to strive and season for right. From Guyana's base consummate to white surface streets that reign, build thy people, dear Guyana, strong, united, loyal, free. My Guyana, my Guyana, my Guyana, my Guyana, Eldorado, best of all the world away. In my heart wherever I wander, memory enshrined thee. All my hopes and aspirations, all my longings, only tie everlasting bonds around us as the fleeting years roll by. My Guyana, Eldorado, my Guyana, time's unfolding and for my destiny, to redeeming lasting splendor for the years that lost for me, and the dawning of thy glory, for the long, long night is past. Oh, arise, triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past. Oh, arise, triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past. Guyana, be that all the world I see watch on his strand. Or down upon the borders, looking out upon the deep, the great Atlantic flowed into a fury. Or asleep at morn, at noon, or measuring the crimson sunset's glow. I love thee, I love thee, I love thee. Oh, oh, beautiful Guyana, oh, my lovely native land. Oh, dear to me that all the world I see was sun is round. Oh, down upon the border, down upon the deep, the great Atlantic flowed into a fury. Or asleep, at morn, at noon, or measuring the crimson sunset's glow. I love thee, I love thee, I love thee. Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. Together, my comrades, we'll build our new Guyana, a country where all are equal opportunity. So let us begin now to show loyalty to Guyana by showing love and respect for all that it means. My brothers, my sisters, we will live and die here together. Our motto, one people, one nation, one destiny. For harmonious living, cooperation will be forever. In work and play as we live as proud Guyanese. Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. Well, it's time we settle all the riches in the interior. Our natural resources are there in great quantity. And we will do farming and establish jobs by the border. We'll grow more food so we could fill all Guyanese. My greatest desire is to serve my country, Guyana, and sincerely help Guyana to move along. Our government asks us, and we study hard and we learn the things that will help Guyana to become strong. Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. To help develop Guyana the free.
All right, so today we are here at Club Twilight up in Buxton, and we are here to talk about all that's going on up here. Trust me, if you are on the East Coast, you're in Buxton, you're in Tongue, you're looking for a place to get away to, this is the place. The Cutters, mwah. Listen, I'll be having some just now again. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, the ambience is beautiful, fully air conditioned. The decor is on point. The music's on point. Everything's on point. It's just me. I need some work. But everything else that belongs to this club here is on point. So if you want to find a nice little place where you can just drive out of town and have some drinks, have some food, you can call, you can order your stuff and just take it. You don't have to stay. Or if you want to stay here, that's what's up. And of course, they have special events for Valentine's. You can rent a hall. You can rent a hall, honey. You can rent a hall for weddings, for birthday parties, to have a bash. I hope he edits that out. But you know, whatever it is, this is definitely the place to be. So it's on Sideline Dam. You definitely want to ensure that you check this place out. But it's on your to-do list. All right, on your to-do list. This is definitely the place to check out, you know, a really cool, chill spot here in Buxton. I like this. This is Buxton needed this. We needed this. I needed this. You definitely needed too. Thank you. All right, so you might be wondering where we are. Still in Buxton at Club Twilight. That's where we are. So Club Twilight also has like an Airbnb as well. So you could come, drink, drunk, and come in the back here and lie down. Look at that. Look at that. Perfection. And the people come in the room and so on. The bed sheet matching the blind, matching the carpet, matching the this, matching the that. We know but we things in Buxton don't play with we. So definitely if you want to come and you know you may be having a wedding or whatever and you just want to overnight and just have a good time because you're gonna be drunk. We got too much road accidents. So you definitely want to come, drink, have a good time. They have several rooms that you can rent. You have your toilet, you have your bath, you have your sink, you have your dining area, you have the bed. This is nice. I like it. Anyways, to my friends and my family, if you're looking for me, I'll be overnighting. Also for those persons who are traveling in from overseas, you want a nice, cozy place out of town, then Club Twilight, call them up, look them up on social media. They have their own Facebook page and ensure that you come up the side and have a good time. Have a good time. Have a good time. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's it.
To Amsterdam, I think I only get 3 Polari. You see, when the function finish, right? The egg ball keep them people in it. Oh my goodness. And it's like, after we got whole tub of sauce, it's like, let's have a little, Mr. Amsterdam, everything shine, shine, shine. I haven't gotten to taste anything because, like I said, I just eat 3 Polari. Everybody complimented the stuff. It was tasty. All of them munch down and come back and load up. Certain places you can't go and get proper stuff, but uh, the sauce is more than enough. I appreciate the variety options.
At Lou's Kitchen, it's no idle boast. Call us for the best in Creole food. 653-3205. Lou's, the original Creole chef. You can get meat.
He wasn't persuaded.
Hello, hi, good morning. Oh, yeah, welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. I think this jersey look better with the button up. So I'm dressed on camera. Yeah, forgive me. I'm not the type of person who likes to look in the mirror. Sometimes I don't like what I see. But when I am before the camera, then I have to see. I have no choice but to see. Oh, Lord, look how this green look wonderful. I'm sorry I give you my PNC hat. Well, my APNU hat is a green and white hat. And I'm looking for green pants. I don't have any green trousers, really. I never really bought any green trousers. But if I had one, I would have been wearing it this morning. I certainly would have been wearing it this morning. I got some business to do in Georgetown, and I would have been dressing from top to bottom in green. Because they associate green with APNU. And I am so proud, and still I'm so proud of being associated with the APNU and the APNU's political campaign to win government in this country. Nobody ain't gonna beat me into shame. Nobody ain't gonna say 5 more years upon them and cause me to bow my head. And I'm encouraging you the same. Don't let it beat you into subjection. The reality is we know what we know, and they know what they do. So welcome to another program. How you been? How was your last night? How was your this morning? How was the night before and the night before and the night before? Because the several nights before, we waited for electoral results and so on. Keep on saying that is not a decision for me. I would love to see me in Parliament. You know, I had anyhow, we can come back to that. Let me say this. I know people have had sleepless nights. I know people are having a difficult time facing the reality that the APNU has been cheated once more. I know all of those candidates and supporters of the APNU who are out, boots on the ground, who are campaigning in their neighborhoods, even if they were the lone person supporting the APNU in that area. I know they're having a tough time. But I am saying, be like the phoenix. Be like, Arby said, be like the oak tree. The breeze is going to blow you, but you're going to come back. I know that the nasty and wicked and stinking behavior of the PPP and their supporters is what you have to contend with. And have been contending with. But it says sticks and stones may break my bones, but words at all really don't bother me. So my advice to you is, let it talk the talk, let it show the hint, let it play the music, let it pass and blow the air, let it do what it want. But don't let it touch you. Don't let it touch you. You must be prepared to defend your physical. Don't let it touch you. And I say to the RAP and your supporters across this country, it's time to develop a herd mentality. If it's war, the war want, get them war. Don't let nobody physically assault your team members and you let it slide. Turn up in your numbers and defend them. Turn up in your numbers and defend them. We got to develop a herd mentality. Who can defend us? Who can defend us? Because it is simply political immaturity and stupidity on the part of the leaders, in this instance, the PPP leaders. If they can't say to their supporters, are using their words, we have won this election, we have won these elections, let us move forward and move forward peacefully and leave people alone. We have won these elections, using the PPP word, we have won these elections. We got 5 more years upon them. You are our soldiers, you are our followers, you are whoever. Be responsible in your behavior and leave people to live in peace. If the PPP leaders can't say that to their supporters, I am going to say to my comrades, my political comrades, defend yourself. Defend yourself. Some of we gonna die defending ourselves. But some people gonna get the message that we ain't gonna take it rolling over. And so they're gonna think twice before they come around you funny. I know they expect us to come out here with our heads bowed, subdued. We don't have any reason to do that. We should be the ones walking around with a chip on our shoulder. For all the years the PPP been allowing rigged elections and they want biometrics and they want this and they want that. When the time came for them to deliver biometrics to this country and a free and fair election and a clean voters list, they refused. And it is in keeping with their attitude and their behavior. Let's tell you something. I don't know about y'all, I don't know about y'all, but I'll tell you this. I think I'm relatively young in this political game. But when I look back at it, it's almost 40 years I've been in politics, Because I started paying attention to politics in my teens. Thank God for about UC Kwan and David Hines and George Hines and the rest of them from the Lessons Place, Flat Shop. None of them never said to me, Kidaki, get into politics. None of them. None of them never said to me, you got to join the WP. None of them. But by their leadership, I decided that this is what I want to do as part of my life. I want to serve my people. I want to serve this country. And for all the years that I've known the PPP, they've never proven themselves to be a set of decent people. Ethical, moral, nationalistic. Those are not adjectives that you can attach to the PPP. And let me give you a quick rundown. They're a duplicitous set of people. The great leader, Papa Cherry, caused the Constitution, I think they call it the 1980 Constitution, some people call it the Bonham Constitution, caused the Constitution every single day of the year, every minute of the hour, every hour of the day, every day of the week, when he was in opposition. And said the Constitution must be torn up and reformed and all of that. The president got too much power. And when in 92, the Carter Center corrupted the election and gave it to Chedi Jagan. And yes, I said the Carter Center corrupted the election and gave it to Chedi Jagan. Chedi Jagan didn't win no election in October 1992. By then, the US, the CIA, and all those who were in bed with the US decided, listen, it's time for we get rid of the PPP from power, the PNC from power, because of all the cries of abuse and this and that and the other, and put the PPP in power because Chedi came at our feet and he bowed down. And he begged and he said, how we're going to change my communist ways? I ain't going to be communist no more. Let history be told. I ain't going to be communist no more. I want power. Y'all give me power and I'm going to cooperate with y'all. And when Chedi Jagan got into power, and he was reminded that he was fighting for constitutional reform, he said nothing is wrong with the Constitution. Nothing is wrong with the Constitution. Is who using it. Is who using it. Fast forward to 2015, 2020. Fast forward to 2015, 2020. When Jagdeo and the PPP was out of power, they quite blew more out. They were cheated out of the elections, machinery is rigged and fraudulent and all kind of thing. I know the list is bloated and they want biometrics. Again, when the US and their friends came and they installed them in power after the 2020 elections, the cry went out the door. The other set of people were crying for it. The APNU and their supporters were saying biometrics and a clean voters list. It fell on deaf ears. The PPP never heard it. Khaled Singh and masqueraders at GCOM, they never heard it until about 6 months to the election, when they decided that, yes, we have ignored it long enough. And now we are going to say we do not have enough time. To implement it. And so they ignored it, and then they say they did not have enough time to implement it. And so we went on election with a bloated list, an extremely bloated list that presented millions of opportunities for the elections to be corrupted, like it has been corrupted. And the PPP is walking around strutting their stuff, saying they won an election. I call it a Pyrrhic victory for them. I call it a Pyrrhic victory for them. As people like say you win the battle, but you lost the war, or you win the war, but you lost the battle. You are in power, you stay in power. But you have no legitimacy. I am sure that more people than before in this society see you, presidents, and all of you in the PPP, as an illegitimate set of criminals. And all those of you who are supporting them and walking around with a chip on your shoulder, you are just similar to them. Boys of a fellow flock, you and them are the same thing. Oh, you're a sour loser. See what I'm talking about? Sour loser here. I ain't ready for cuss yet. So I ain't gonna follow you up. But, oh, you're a sour loser. Like, really? Like, really? Listen to the observer missions. Listen to the preliminary reports. Some of you can't read, so I can't tell you going to read it. And I'm talking specifically to those of you who come and talk about sour and so loser, and you PPP miscreants. I can't call you all anything else. The proud slaves of the PPP. Go read, or ask somebody to read for you, or even ask Google to read for you the preliminary reports of the observer mission. Even at the inauguration of the presidents, the Brits told them, you need to implement the recommendations of the observer missions soon, very soon, with alacrity. Look at the findings of the observer missions and see if there are anything different to what the coalition has been saying to Guyanese, and the coalition has been saying to the world, and the coalition has been saying to GCOM. The list is extremely bloated. Biometrics will help to solve the problem. The electoral machinery is rigged. We need to fix it, etc., etc. Go check the reports, preliminary as it is, of the observer missions. And so don't cause the coalition for saying that this election, they got no legitimacy about this election and the government that resulted from it. We didn't bring the observers. Go check it. And I'm saying to you, I've established you, or I have shown you the duplicitous nature of the PPP, from Chedi Jagan all the way down to by Jagdion Fanali and all of them. And the people who they always attempt to label riggers, in the last 10 years or so, were the only people who genuinely made an effort to fix the electoral roll. Despite all the cost Granger and the cost Patterson, who was at the time chairman of the election commission, don't forget that Granger, under the Granger administration, a house-to-house registration and verification process had begun in this country. And Claudette Singh, once she was appointed chairman of the election commission, she stopped it. Y'all go and check it. Y'all go and check it. And so for all the course y'all give PNC, all the course y'all give PNC, y'all give APNU as riggers and wanting to steal election and wanting to kill democracy and all of that, let the records reflect that the very group of people have shown a willingness time and time again to fix the electoral system, to clean the voters list, and to let democracy and democratic practices prevail in this country. It is under the PNC that this GCOM was born. And it was supposed to be a temporary arrangement in terms of structure. From 92 to now, we still got it. Are our leaders lazy? Are they backward? Are they illiterate? Functionally illiterate? Ignorant? What label do you want to give them that up until now, Guyanese are hamstrung with an election commission that doesn't function? And people in government who are not willing to make the necessary changes so that the election commission can function and democracy or democratic practices can really become a part of the society we live in. Let me tell you something. There ain't nothing that irks me more than folks coming here and refer to us as you people. Don't come here and talk to us. Don't talk down to us. Don't talk down to us. We're giving you the opportunity to partake because we believe in democracy. But don't come here and talk down to us. Don't address anybody as you people. Because you people are no better than us. Let me say this. I see Flash Gordon is saying it never benefited Black people for 28 years. It was a mistake by Desmond Prasad. It was no mistake. It was no mistake. Are you saying that all of the countries that have adopted democratic practices, establish an election machinery where the will of the people, the real will of the people is respected. Have made mistakes? No. No, those are not mistakes. It is the unwillingness to allow the systems to function that is the problem in this country. The unwillingness to allow the system in place to function is the problem in this country. Commissions are constitutional bodies. Commissions are supposed to be independent constitution bodies. It is the government and the government's operatives that interfere with the functionality of these constitutions that must be determined and declare the problem. And so those are the people you want to get rid of from public office. The Bible says if your right hand offend you, cut it off. And if these people are the offenders against the citizens of this country by not allowing constitutional agencies to function constitutionally, these are the people we got to get rid of. Those are the people we got to get rid of. I so don't blame the well-intentioned actions of Desmondite. I don't care how much we cost Desmondite and call it Desmond Putsat. Desmondite made a calculated or took a calculated risk. But he made a patriotic decision. Listen, this country is under so much pressure from the international community to adopt democratic practices. And if we fail to adopt those democratic practices, we're being stifled financially and economically, and the people are feeling the squeeze. Let me bite the bullet. I will adopt the democratic practices. Guyanese would recognize my good intention, and they will give me that opportunity to lead this country into a brighter future. Indo-Guyanese will recognize my sincerity in ensuring that I be a president for all the people and give me an opportunity to lead this country into a brighter future. The Indian snakes put on sheep clothing and they well and they praise up Desmondite, and everywhere they go, they put a garland around his neck. Some people say with brick inside. And came election day, they shafted him. That's not on Desmondite. That's not on Desmondite. Indo-Guyanese fought alongside the WPA. Afro-Guyanese leaders in the WPA. Indo-Guyanese fought alongside them. Step by step. To change the practices of government that they believe were oppressive to the people. And when that government was gotten rid of, and Indo-Guyanese were in government and performing worse, taking more oppressive measures against the people and even that government that they were fighting, Indo-Guyanese went into the quiet corner, and some of them simply say, "I'll be time now." Don't blame the Working People's Alliance and their leaders for standing on the side of the people, for the selfishness of those Indo-Guyanese, many of them in the PPP today. Let us look at them for what they are. Let us look at them for what they are. I will continue to say this. The PPP win no election. The PPP could win any election. Because Guyanese people are stupid. Guyanese people are stupid. Guyanese people know that the PPP represent the worst for this country. And they voted against them. I'm willing to concede that win, the Blue Party possibly won the election. I see they say they're going to an election petition. I wish them luck. You know why I wish them luck? Because again, the PPP did not and will not allow the constitutional agencies of this country to function. They're tired of using Roxanne George, so they orchestrate it, they make the plan. Roxanne, the country, we see the country discuss you every time you rule for us. You could take your leave now, sweetheart, darling. You could take your leave now. We got another agent of ours to put in place. We're going to put Navendra Singh or whoever his name is. I said it before, I'm going to continue to say it. They ain't got one electoral case that will go in front of the acting Chief Justice and pass. Not one. But I also said something. Democracy in this country is for sale. Electoral rights in this country are for sale. Justice in this country, for sale. And so since the leader of the ruling party is a multi-billionaire, who knows? Maybe you're going to outbid the PPP. And we're going to get an election petition heard in this country in a timely manner. Just maybe he could outbid the PPP and buy justice. So we're going to get an election petition heard in a timely manner. And I'm not saying that with any apologies, any regrets. They could come for me. Like I tell you, I see myself already. Whatever the outcome is, the outcome. But I will continue to speak my truth. And from where I'm sitting, where I see it, the PPP has put all of the gatekeepers in place. You have no chance of passing this gate. And so we're not even worried. Y'all ain't got no chance of passing this gate. GCOM, that in 2020 said, according to the Constitution, it had the authority to create Order 60. I remember that? Because the representation of people's acts basically say, listen, GCOM has the authority to do everything in its power to ensure free, fair, and credible elections. And so Order 60 was created under that nonsense. But come to 2025, when Leader Norton asked GCOM for a forensic audit, the old hag said, anything beyond the recount, gotta go to court. We don't have the authority. Anything beyond the recount, you gotta go to court for. We don't have the authority to even execute a forensic audit of this election. Let me tell you why. There are credible reports I have credible reports of missing ballot papers coming out of the election. Let a lot of the, well, I can't even say let the POs tell you the stories. Because the thing with the POs telling the stories is the PPP POs going to be telling the stories. But I can tell you across this country, the sequential order of ballots could not be followed in many of the ballot books. Breakdown secondary, for example. Breakdown secondary, for example. The GCOM staff had hell and razor to reconcile. They had hell and razor to reconcile because a whole chunk of ballots sequentially were missing from the ballot book. And the same obtained across the country. The same obtained across the country. When you, as a manager, financial manager, accountant, or anything, when you find missing check pages, missing pages from your checkbook, what conclusion do you come to? What conclusion do you come to? Somebody robbing the company hereby. People are stealing pages from the checkbook and forging signatures. Is that ethical? It isn't. Is that fair? It isn't. So all the so-called red brigade and red and ready people, y'all are the ones who should be walking around in shame. You are celebrating the theft of an election. So I'm saying to the people, my people, put on your green and be seen. Don't feel diminished. Stand tall. Because they ain't got nothing on you. They have nothing on you. This was a clear orchestration. I said to y'all want, let me do him say I said to y'all want nothing. The results do not speak to the true fortunes of the APNU. They do not speak to the true fortunes of the Win Party. They do not speak to the true fortunes of the PPP. They do not speak to the true fortunes of any of the political parties that participated in this election. Here, Dick. You got a right name, Dick. Where's your proof that elections were stolen? Thief man don't walk around and leave the elements of his trade to the home eyes. Investigators usually investigate and find them. They use circumstantial evidence, even if you know what that is. They use circumstantial evidence and they pay attention to them and they follow them and they arrive in many instances at a conclusion and find the culprit. We have seen all of this circumstantial evidence, some of which I have just discussed with you, but Dick ain't got ears, so Dick Can't hear what I said. And if the constitutional agency in GCOM had an interest in really and truly preserving democracy and democratic practices in this country, then the old hag would have responded positively to the request for a forensic audit of the election. Somebody is asking if we can still get that forensic audit. The next step to any challenge to this election is in the courts of Ghana. As long as the elections have been declared, the president has been sworn in, the next step is an election petition. I just said, in case you weren't listening, I will repeat, so even the dick can hear if it can find an ear. I have no hope of any electoral case passing the PPP blocker, starting with the acting Chief Justice. That's all I'm saying. Look how the court system has been set up to be used against us, even if we want to challenge the election through the courts. Amanza Walton this year approached the court on the fact that GCOM left the name and symbol of her party off of the national ballot for 2 regions, I think. Not only did the PPP blocker in the acting Chief Justice throw out the case, but he awarded costs to the value of $2 million, I think. You know what that is saying? Don't come. If you come and you lose, we're going to penalize you. Whether or not you lose under fair circumstances, we're going to penalize you. We're going to make you feel it in your pocket. You know what that is? That is a disincentive. It doesn't encourage anybody to approach the court. It does not appear, that's a constitutional matter. A citizen should have a right to go to court on a constitutional issue. And the agencies involved in that constitutional matter are agencies of the state, more particularly GCOM. GCOM is funded on taxpayers' money. And so it is taxpayers' money who would have had to pay their legal costs and everything. And so why are you penalizing a citizen who is a taxpayer for asking question of a constitutional agency who gets paid through our tax or all of our tax, except that you want to be vindictive. Except that you want to be vindictive. And you want to discourage such challenges. Y'all gotta understand this thing. And it's not like some of you don't understand it. Y'all just want to pretend that you're stupid. I am positive in my mind that the arguments or the contentions of Amanza in terms of GCOM leaving our party's name off of the national ballot are genuine arguments. When the ruling said that she or party disqualified itself from those 3 regions because they said they weren't contesting those 3 regions, understand the electoral system of this country. It's called general and regional elections. General and regional elections. Through general elections, you elect the president and so on. Through regional elections, you elect regional representatives like the regional chairman and so on and so forth. The party said we have no interest in having regional representatives in these regions. But that did not change our interest in having people vote for us to elect the president. There are 2 ballots. The top is national and the bottom is regional. So if any leaving off was supposed to be done, the party's name and symbol should have been left off of the regional ballots, not the general ballots. But the learned judges or judge whoever believe that all we stupid. Only they could interpret the law. Only they got brain. Despite all of the corruption in it, only they got brain. And so for me, that was a very simple and straightforward case. But it gets thrown out. And the citizen who was asking the judiciary to pronounce on a constitutional matter gets penalized. Baby Bash, I said earlier, don't come here and address us as youth people. Go over by critics. So if you all didn't see, the whole system is rigged against fixing the rigged system. I don't know what else to say to you guys. But this is what I want to say to African Guyanese. All is not lost. Because the cry now is the government is Indo-Guyanese. The leader of the opposition or the main opposition party is Indo-Guyanese. There's a cry now. Who can talk for them black people? Who can talk for them black people? I want to say to you, if you don't have a voice in the parliament, you can ensure you have a voice on the streets of this country. Oh God, Mr. Absalom, I'm telling people go up on the streets. No, I ain't tell them that yet. I ain't tell them that yet. Here we're telling them. Get back into your communities and form strong organizations. Join African Guyanese organizations. Strengthen them. Give them strength. I keep telling y'all, there's no leader. If the people are not standing firmly behind, in front, beside the leader. Show your leaders support. Strengthen them. Put backings to them. As somebody got to say, you gotta get backative. They gotta get backative. And when you join your African Guyanese organizations and you strengthen your leaders, and they know that they can make a call and get 100,000 people on the streets of Georgetown, and the powers that be know that when they make a call, they can get 100,000 people on the streets of Georgetown, they're going to listen to you. You ain't got to be in parliament for them to listen. My answer to the PPP and their shenanigans and this distorted democracy, my answer is strong African Guyanese organizations and strong African Guyanese leadership. All is not lost. All is not lost. I know because I've seen the signs already. I've seen the signs already. That a lot of those who went to win are ready to walk back that decision. Because by now they realize, oh shoots by, we screw up. Good morning, how may I help you? Yes, my name is Kidaki. I'll be there in the course of today. I saw your text message. Good. And so what is done is done. But some things could be undone. And so we're going to beat them up, we're going to chastise them for the rest of eternity. Just let them know, hey, I could come back. We can work our differences out. Because it is in our interest to work our differences out. My answer to this current dispensation is strong, people-centered representative organizations. If African Guyanese can recognize the value of that, then I sorry for all of us. Or all of y'all. Let me show y'all something. The dice cards, there's a whole conspiracy to continue to oppress African Guyanese in this country. Y'all look at who the local observers were. Y'all look at the Guyana or Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the observers who were forced perhaps to declare the elections free, fair, and credible. Look at them. And see what they got in similarity to the PPP. It's free and fair for them because it's more contracts to them. It's more tax exemptions to them. And so on and so forth. Listen, let me go. Don't cause me to get very personal this morning. Don't forget I call on you to put your body to the line. Don't tell people that I got too many online talkers. Because a lot of you who come here and criticize people for being online talkers, you ain't ready for put your body to the line. They got a couple of people I could big up because they left the United States of America and they left London, British, wherever, and they left the Caribbean and they came and they said, Mr. Amsterdam, how can we help? What can we do on election day? Yes, financing and so on, we need it to do the work that we have to do. But money by itself does nothing. Even those two political parties, WIN and PPP, that were buying votes and so on and paying people to go to rally and so on, they had to get people to deliver their money. Let me make it that simplistic. Let me make it that simplistic. Money answers all things, but you gotta forget medium of getting the money to where it's gonna go and answer all things. Money couldn't sit in polling stations. Money couldn't sit in GCOM. Money can't do a forensic audit. It could pay for it. I will tell you, going forward, I need your money. I need a whole lot of money in the rebuilding process. I need a whole lot of money because I got a rebuilding plan. And your money will help. But don't think that is the beginning and end of it all. And so don't come and tell people how you always do sit down and talk. Because you know it. Those who were on the ground with me on election, they know all I do wasn't sit down and talk. I started work that morning, maybe about 2 o'clock. And I went to bed, maybe about 2 o'clock. Only to wake up about 4 the next morning to be on it again. Yeah, stop. It's the same self-righteousness that has us right where we are. Because everybody was self-righteous in the condemnation and criticism of our Norton as leader. And you know what? I was about to say it earlier. Harvey Norton could not have performed as badly as the PPP and the GCOM electoral machinery made it look as though he performed. But we laid a foundation on which they could plant that dishonesty. We laid the foundation on which they could plant that dishonesty. Because all of us painted Harvey Norton as unelectable and not liked by the people and destructive of the party and all of that. And so the PPP had a ground on which their corruption could stand. Because y'all done kill and bury Harvey Norton. We only put in on the flowers. But now everybody coming in a righteous indignation. I give me a chance. Before I open up the lines, I want to address why I consider the attacks on Winston Jordan. Winston Jordan could speak for himself. But I was the host of the program when Winston Jordan made some suggestions about the way forward for the AP and you for the opposition leadership and so on. First and foremost, I think Winston Jordan has a right to his opinions. Secondly, I don't think they were disrespectful to Harvey in any way. Thirdly, I don't think there was any ill will in those opinions. But again, we in our emotional states are ready to jump out and call Winston Jordan some of the worst names and curse him out. And that's where he was. But for almost 4 years, I would say almost 4 years, he might be able to tell you how long he has been on this program because he generally he seems to be a good record keeper. I don't pay too much attention to that. Winston has been coming here every week to teach us, every week to empower us. We'll see on the campaign trail, but he has been campaigning with us every week on these platforms. Unless you're saying what I've been doing on these platforms, so every week for the last 4 or 5 years can't be considered campaigning. But we all up in our feelings. We all up in our feelings. All up in our feelings. Sometimes we got to give people a break. Why is he allowed to have an opinion on others or people on the other side, but not have an opinion on his own side? That is self-disruptive for all of us and destructive. Jordan ain't no peach, Jordan ain't no angel. I'm sure Jordan knows that he has made some mistakes, even as finance minister and member of the PPP, the last former APNU government, and even as a human being, he has his frailties and so on and so forth. But oh, because he expressed this opinion, we must kill him. Yes, Marcel Glasgow. Thank you. Dennis Shabal made it seem as though Jordan say not must go immediately. I was in the presence of Norton when somebody showed me an article that say Jordan called for his resignation. And he said, oh, Jordan called for my resignation. My immediate response to him was, I will advise you to go listen to the entire presentation from Jordan before you come to a conclusion. Because I know he's an educated man. And where others are seeing mischief, he might see wisdom. But many of us read the headlines. Many of us only read the headlines, you know. And a whole lot of us only hear others talk about the headlines. And we come to our conclusions. Nobody takes the time to get the whole meat of the matter. They just hear a soundbite and they grab it and they run around like mad people. A crazy bull in a ceramic shop, and they broke up everything, not even caring about the aftermath. My advice to people is, if you want to comment on an issue, ensure you get the entire episode of the show where the issue is discussed and listen to it. Don't listen to other people. Hey, hi, good morning. How are you doing, morning? Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. It is now 7 hours 25 on the 9th day of the 9th month in the year 2025. How you been? How was it yesterday? How was it last night? How are you feeling this morning? How are you feeling about the future? What does the future hold for you? A lot of us are coming to that place. What does the future hold for you? How do you plan facing your future? Yeah, tell me. Huh? I think as of, well, no, don't let me say as of. The elections are not over. The elections are not over. There's still things that are connected to the elections that are happening. We had the president sworn in, and then the next thing is to extract parliamentarians from the list, the varying lists. Well, not the varying lists, the 3 lists they got right now that you have to extract parliamentarians. Some, you have the APNU list, the PPP list, and the forward Ghana list. I can start with the forward Ghana list. Is one person from there that will be going to parliament. A lot of people are already anticipating that it would be Amanza Walton this year who will go to parliament from the forward Ghana list. I see somebody ask the question if they're going to be sharing the seat that the forward Ghana list got. That's a question to be answered. I don't know if, I don't think I heard them answer it, but again, time will tell. Time will tell on that. The APNU, they have 12 seats as far as the declarations have gone. They got 12 seats. And so we'll have to wait and see who those 12 parliamentarians are. Good. You'll wait and see who those 12 parliamentarians are. And then you're going to ask yourself if, well, any which way, Orbit Norton selects 12 parliamentarians, any which way is challenging. Good? Any which way is challenging, because when you're leading such a big party and you have so little spoils, if I can call it that, to distribute, then the challenge is yours. How many persons can, quote unquote, benefit from parliamentary experience with 12 seats? Abiola Marshall says Dr. Hines have to live in Ghana to occupy his seat. Dr. Hines lives in Ghana. Don't be like the Will Johnsons who some time ago said Dr. Hines is a US citizen and all of that. Dr. Hines has never given up his Guyanese citizenship, and so he is a Guyanese citizen and he lives in Ghana. Right? The previous argument was that he worked in the US, he spent half of the year in the US, or approximately half of the year in the US, and every opportunity he got, he came back to Ghana, his home. That to remove all doubt, I'm saying to you right now, he lives in Ghana. I don't know if you know that, but I don't even need to say that, but he's a public figure, so I guess anyhow, that's not my story to tell. Dr. Hines will tell his own story. But the long and short of that thing there is that he lives in Ghana. Good. I've seen one trying to convince Brenda Casey that he never criticized Jordan, he never criticized Norton. And he's encouraging her, I guess, to go and listen to the thing. I don't know. I respect. I got, and I will always have respect for Mr. Jordan and respect for Brenda Casey and respect for all those of you who are contributors to this program. And when I say contributors to this program, I'm not talking about financial contributors. I'm not talking about intellectual well, I'm talking about intellectual contributors, because all of you come here and you contribute an idea, you contribute an opinion. I will always respect you for that. Every single one of you. Even the trolls that can't get the subject and verb agreements together and so on. All of you, I will give due respect. What I have serious disregard for is when people are not willing to go the extra mile, if I can call it that. It's not even an extra mile, but it's the required mileage to ensure that they are well informed when they are going to comment on issues. Right? That is what I have disregard for. As an educator, as a person who really pride myself with education, and watching people learn and teaching people and so on, I always say education is the black man's salvation. As a person who believes, or should I stick with the proper grammar, believes in education as the light, the path, the roadmap to upward mobility and so on, it bothers me when people continue to exhibit a willingness to stay in ignorance. And so the thing that we got to come back here this morning and be discussing an issue that, quite frankly, we discussed yesterday in terms of what Jordan said and didn't say and what people interpreted as against what was intended and so on. It's an aggravation. Really and truly, it's an aggravation. Right? And so I really don't know why we continue to deal with that issue. Sometimes it's just got to. Desiderato says, do not compare yourself to the dull nor the ignorant. Right? Or do not compare yourself to others. Let me get it right, sorry. Do not compare yourself to others, for they will always be greater and they will be lesser persons than yourself. And so when you make that comparison, it's either two things going to happen. Right? You're going to either be bitter or you're going to be vain. Oh, I am superior to you because you're lesser than I am. With a cross, you want to give people a break because he is greater than I am. So be very careful. Live your truth. Live your truth. Abiola Marshall is asking how many seats. You are listening, Grandma? How many seats? Not that change much to many, right? I'm just being lighthearted here. I don't want you to take it personal. But it's every moment is a teachable moment. Yeah, I could teach me too, you know. How many seats the WPA will be given? The rule of thumb is if it can be counted, you use many. And if it can't be counted, you use much. Right? So I know some people would say, look at rice. Why people say how much rice? Because rice is treated as a collective. How much rice you want? But we can ask how many grains of rice do you want? Right? How many grains of rice? Well, how much rice? Good. How many seats? Because we could count them, especially that there aren't many, they're just 12. How many seats the WPA will get? From my understanding, the WPA will get 1 seat. A singular seat. Do we deserve more? Yes. Is there more to go around? No. I can argue that, or I can make that statement of fact. Are there more seats to go around? No. So WPA gets 1/12. Good. Are you wrong? Thank you. What? Let me kill matter right now. Forget that one. We move it on from there. Right. So WPA will get 1 seat. All right. So I was about to say it's time for us to move on because the elections are over. The elections are now over. Because, like I said, we now have to deal with the extraction of candidates to parliament and so on. Who is going to go to parliament? And what do they represent? What will they represent going to parliament? What do you believe they can achieve going to parliament? What should be the attitude of those who go to parliament? What should be the approach to dealing with parliamentary issues, especially given the PPP has a 7-seat majority? Right? Those are some of the questions that we have to deal with. Despite the fact that the counting is over and done with and seat allocations have been made and so on and so forth, there's still those questions to be answered. And so in the coming days or hours, perhaps you're going to start to see names being thrown around as to who is going to parliament and who is going to be leader of the opposition and stuff like that. Somebody sent me a list, and I know that there was a whole list out there already, and because somebody sent it to me, and then somebody else sent it to me, and then somebody else sent it to me about what the PPP parliamentarians look like, or ministers of government, yes. It seems as though the PPP is going to have a 19-minister government or something. So I see there have been 19 positions apportioned already, allotted already according to this list that is going around. And nothing to shout about. Nothing to shout about. Because apart from the few changes here and there, I still see the old hags. I still see the short cook. I still see Satire Gal. I still see Batty Lion. I still see Dead Fowl. They're still hanging on to power. Like their life depends on it. Oh, I see Double or Not. If the list is accurate, the man is going to be Minister of Sports. Get a lot of balls to play with. Right? Quite frankly, an inconsequential appointment. Because I don't know how much the Minister of Sports influences anything in this country. Good. Satira Gyal is supposed to replace the Polori Joe as Minister of Labor. According to the list, I know the PPP got away planting red herrings, you know, to see how people will bite. And so I got no opinions on these things. Let the PPP go ahead and do as they wish to do. And then we'll see what the outcomes will be. Good. So I was saying earlier, perhaps the elections are over. It's time to move on. But move on how? That's what I want us to talk about. Move on how? How are we moving on? Jordan made a suggestion as to how the PNC should move on. Everybody cussing if it without even understanding it. How do we move on as a political opposition is my big question. How do we move on as a political opposition? I see somebody has mentioned that local government elections are upon us shortly. And that is something I recognize even before the elections were over and dusted with. The previous local government elections, many of us in the WPA argued that it didn't make sense going into any elections, the local government elections at that time in particular, with a bloated list, without biometrics, without safeguards for free, fair, and credible elections. It was argued then that it didn't make sense sitting out the election because you're going to be giving up your political space. So we went into those local government elections. So what it's worth, people interpreted the outcome as victorious for the APNU and the opposition. They were able to hold on to critical seats, critical local government areas. But what that did is, in my mind, gave a false sense of security in that we could get through, we could beat the PPP and the corrupt systems. Who is this? Good morning, how may I help you? Who is it calling? And what are you calling about? And you're sure you're calling the right person? This is Mr. Amsterdam. That's all right. Let's have a great day. Enjoy. Good. Yeah, sure. Maybe it's in my near future, maybe I'm going to be the owner of a telephone company, an internet service or something like that. Somebody calling me to complain about the internet though. Yeah, in my mind, it gave us, or gave a lot of people, because darn me, gave a lot of people a false sense of believing that we could escape the PPP rigging in general and regional elections because we survived the local government elections. And so the same arguments came forward to the general and regional elections. We have to contest these elections, otherwise we're going to cede political space, all of the political space, to the PPP. Right? And we didn't fight. We really didn't fight to fix a broken system. A system that, once kept in place, was almost sure to defeat us, or almost sure to be used against us in fair or foul means. And so we went into those elections with a bloated list, GCOM waiting until the 11th hour to say we can't do biometrics and stuff like that. And we went right up to the 11th hour with the naysayers cussing out the very person that by then we should have determined is the only presidential candidate that we have going into those elections. And so, in short, we dealt ourselves some blows. We, by our very actions, must have reduced our chances of coming out ahead of these elections victorious. But now we are here and we're crying we bawling, we complaining, and so on. But the reality is, we allowed ourselves to be lewd. If you want to call it, into a false sense of security, believing that the heavens will favor us, even if we just pray. And we've seen the results. An election that has been so corrupted and so orchestrated to ensure our near demise, or near obliteration, if it isn't our obliteration. So we are in parliament with 12 seats. Or we came out of the election with 12 seats, and the mathematical geniuses and the psychological geniuses are now tasked with determining how they're going to share these 12 seats. But our people, our supporters who stuck with us, are high in emotion. They're saying we have been robbed. It's a fact. They know we have been robbed. They're saying, let us go there and confront the system that robbed us, which might be the logical thing to do. But the leaders are saying, no. Perhaps like a Granger, stay calm. It's not a time to confront the system. Stay calm. And in another 12 months or so, we are going to go to a local government election, staying calm. Because from where I sit, the fight should have started before the declaration and immediately after the declaration, or should I say before, during, and immediately after the declaration. We should have been on the streets of this country in front of GCOM, as them boys in the streets say, I'll know, highlighting that the observers of the last elections, like the observers of the previous elections, like we, those of us who had the gumption to say it and to try to act on it, declare that biometrics must be embraced as one of the tools that could possibly guarantee free, fair, and credible elections in this country, or at least reduce the possibility, reduce the number of instances of fraudulent voting and election stealing and so on. But these are already several mornings too late. And I don't hear any of the intellectuals. I don't hear any of the bright people. I don't hear any of the political scientists. I don't hear any of the great leaders. Oh, great leader, thou art God, saying to the supporters and saying to the followers, that energy which you have, that emotional strength that you have, that you want to confront this broken system, let us direct it to demanding biometrics and a clean voters list. No. So that by the time the next local government election comes around, the system will be fixed. I tell you all, I got great respect for leadership. But I have no fear of criticizing leadership when leadership, in my eyes, in my little learning, right, is not coming across as being rational. That's how I see it. And I'm saying it is not coming across as being rational because I am sure I'm going to hear not too long from now that we are going to prepare for local government elections, or we're going to contest the local government elections under the same conditions which we contested the previous one when we contested the general and regional elections, which screwed us over. So I don't see where is the rationality there. I don't see the logic here. And so I'm at a crossroads. How do I channel my energies into something that I don't believe will bear fruit? How do I do that? Or how do I give expression to my belief that people should be on the streets confronting GCOM and the system, the authorities, the power that this thing must be fixed before the next local government election? Knowing very well that, again, I might be out there on a limb all by myself with 11 or 12 disciples, if I can call them that. What is the course we prepare to chart going forward? How are we prepared to deal with the next local government election or the electoral system leading up to the next local government elections? I quite frankly, in my head, I've moved on from the results of this general and regional elections, right? See, Oscar Peters, I don't mind you laughing at us. But guess what? I got the ability to not make you laugh in our faces. And so I will use that ability. Good riddance. Right? Good riddance. Go laugh over my critic. Go laugh where the PPP friends and families are. Yes. So, where are we? How are we proceeding forward? Because as the leaders advise, listen, let's close this chapter. Let me roll over and dead on this chapter. But then we gonna arise, oh great men, and go contest the local government elections under the same conditions. I gotta be sick in my head. Any leader that tells me gotta be sick tells me that gotta be sick in his or her head. And so I'm saying to you, all of us, if there is no real fight to get the system changed, my energies will not be invested in any local government election. When y'all are prepared to fight to get the system fixed and ensure that we have a better chance at even beating the riggers and beating the rigging, y'all could call me. Y'all could call me. Because here's what I've concluded. Win, lose, or draw. 12 seats or 20 seats. 20 seats or 24 seats, or in the case of the PPP, 36 seats. the first at the table gonna be them big boys. And so sometimes you ask yourself, do they really care? Do they really care what the outcome is? Except that there is enough for them to get? I am still asking myself, I wonder how Mohammed is going to deal with the 16 seats. What would the ethnic balance be in those 16 seats? And by extension, what would the ethnic balance be in the National Assembly? But I believe in watching and waiting. I will watch and wait. But I have my own imagination as to what we're likely to see. This parliament, for the opposition especially, can be, or at least I'm not expecting it to be, about achieving a whole lot of changes and so on for the people of this nation. But rather, what we might see is a lot of egos, self-actualization, pampersetting, because the PPP was wreaking havoc with 2 seats. What am I going to do with 7? It's 8 o'clock or close to it. The lines are open for half hour. I'm starting to scale back the length of the program, so we go until 8:30 this morning. The lines are open. 6225933 is the number to call. I got a fight in me. I'm willing to fight the fight. But I will not be the lone general. In fact, I won't be the lone foot soldier. The generals got to come out and fight. And when the generals show willingness to fight, I will join that fight. I ain't leading no fight this time around. I still got a court case that will end sometime in October. And depending on what happens from now to October, I have some decisions to make. And when October comes, hopefully, and that chapter gets closed, by the case being dismissed, I still have some decisions to make. Call you on. Good morning.
Hello? Yes, good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. Happy Tuesday. Let I start out by saying this. God make 12 disciples. Is a reason why he make 12 disciples. My ex-president in America said one thing in history. Flash, who is not with me, against me. So, when you're in trouble, don't come to me, don't call me. And if I answer my phone, I will tell a plane, I'm not helping you. He said again before he leave office, he said, we do not recognize and we do not thank the farmers them, agriculture people them, who plant food for we can be safe and keep going every day. What are you saying this morning? You see, those who is up there don't recognize the smaller man. That is what we're saying. Because they believe that they know it all and only them alone must say things. And the small man must take it. My first grade education, if I was close to David Granger, my first great education would tell me, remind David Gwynter, because I asked God for the spirit of remembrance, and I asked God to bless me with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because I know I already born with five senses. So we don't have to ask God for that. We only have to use it and demonstrate it. I will tell David Gwynter, listen, don't give up office. Remember when them boys was in office 23 years, what they did to black people and the country? And then you're going to give up office and give them the island gas to run? I would have used my first grade education. I would have remembered black people who wake up early in the morning and vote for me 2015. I can remember black people who wake up 2020 and vote for me. And I will represent them. And if David Gwynter refused from the company to say, hey, me tell the skipper, and the skipper refused. He was told twice. I believe to remember things, because God wants us to remember things, that we must not make the same mistake over and over. He tells Moses to tell us, God, remember this day with thy Lord, thy God brought you out of the hands of bandits, so we'll not go back into it. You will not do stubbornness. And remember to talk those wicked ones that did wrong thing to you. All them ministers, where were them to pay back to the black people who wake up all them? Rich man don't vote. It's poor people that vote because they want better. They want for carry on the ladder too, like other people. None minister never pay back. Nothing. And the tongue was sit down in parliament and make nice. That is not payback on the street. All having nothing hands. Be with him, is he turn, but none of them never do it. I don't want to hear about program and program. The people that vote for them never vote for them through program. The people that vote for them by walking to the police state. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your call. The lines remain open. 622-5933 is the number to call you. Tune to the Guyanese Morning Time.
Good morning, Kadaki, and good morning to all of your viewers. Concerning the voters list, we picketed GCOM for years. We get no assistance from the international committee. All them just keep a dumb voice over the sea. So you even get arrested at the same GCOM area.
Call on mute and hold, please.
We picketed. We also went to embassy, American embassy. We get no assistance. Okay, so to me, they are complicit with the same voters listing. Now, concern who is electable and who is electable. So some of them believe they were electable and they formed their own party, and some ended up with no seat and one and so on. You know, and all the commentators on the Facebook comment who is electable, they may also contribute to the failure of this APNU. Racial unity. The racial unity exists in the Indian because everybody just run to, all the Indians just run to PVP and a couple of the black people. Yeah. We try to include Ganesh Mahipal, we're going to draw Indians, we don't draw none. We also include Director of Finance, think we're going to draw some Indian, we don't draw none. So nobody like black people. Only black people running the help us get all about no unity in the black community, in the black race. Then justice. You think we get justice for Adriana and for all the young youths where they lock up? We are getting no justice for them under this system. We are getting no justice for them. Okay? No justice at all. All them youth will get locked up. And as far as we're concerned, this government creating a lot of scrapes because look at the educational system. After school, you got no all you could do is go and smoke dope. You get no opportunity in one way. You had national service, and you had night school, you could have gone and extend your education. or expand on your education background. Like done with. Okay? You think them only by justice? No justice at for no. Because no justice. You don't no justice. No, the people at Moko, where they destroy the house and so on. No justice for them. People, black people, no for you shoot dog again. This might be worse because they get everything. They get two-thirds majority and they will do too much of things. I know how we will make out. But we got to fight. We got to fight. We can't give up. We got to use some other method. Protest don't work. Some other method got to use. Okay? Hallelujah.
Corey, you can proceed. Speak.
Morning, Kadaki. Morning, listeners. Um, we gotta do these things moving forward. One, education. And gaining education from you guys and listening to positive talk shows. You, Wayne Caesar, Dr. Hines, Mark Benchcop, Shara Duncan. Do not listen to the others, like the Norman Browns, the Rickford Burks, the Otto Martins, and them. They're just gonna make you angry, right, and take you off of your focus. We gotta stay focused and listen to positive things. We need oxygen. We don't need carbon dioxide. We need oxygen. Only the trees we gonna give the carbon dioxide for. So stop sharing. Number two, stop sharing anything that come from a PPP propaganda site or anything concerning PPP, because all we do is assist with the algorithms. If you want to share things, share our things. Do not share anything for PPP on social. Social has a very strong effect on us today, and we have to stop sharing those things. All right, we gotta keep the fight up, be positive, and only feed ourselves with positive things. And remember, when we're being taught, we have to go and teach also. We can't just get food, expect more food, and don't share food. We have to go and teach after we've been taught by these fellas. Listen to people like Mr. Jordan. These people give us good information and good food that we could go out there and empower our people. So that's all I have to say to you this morning.
Thank you for your call. I am reading one Omar Yusuf here who says that Northern Hines, Corbin, and Alexander betrayed Upton supporters. They gotta stop the racism and discrimination. I'll tell you something. I beg to disagree with Yusuf. The only call and mute your line and hold, please. If you don't mute, I will disconnect you.
Oh, I muted Kadaki. I don't.
It's not muted because I'm hearing you speak.
Oh.
Good, it's muted now. Thank you. I shall proceed. I disagree with you, sir. The only failure I want to call for Norton, Hines, and whoever else is listed is the failure to be bold in asserting their blackness. You will remember me sitting right here before these cameras and saying to y'all, the best ticket for the elections, if the APNU is going to overcome the PPP and the rigging and everything by consolidating the base, is Norton and Hines right up front there as presidential and prime ministerial candidates. That was my recommendation then, and it remains my recommendation now. But I'm a team player, so I play with whatever the team wants to play with. But hear me, I'm going to repeat my recommendation. if you wanted to consolidate the base, the Afro-Guyanese base on which APNU so much depends to overcome the PPP or any other political party, the best ticket would have been Arby Norton, David Hines in the forefront. Oh, but you gotta be multi-ethnic. I said give Joretta Finance and Ganesh Maipal vice presidents. If these elections were to be redone and I had to set the list, that was my list. I don't care what nobody say. So you yourself who's saying that APNU suffer the losses they suffered because of Hines and Alexander and Norton and racism or preaching racism and so on, I call it bullshit. That is what the PPP wants black people to accept. That is where the PPP, listen to Jagyo, that is where the PPP wants Afro-Guyanese to believe in this multi-ethnic, multiracial, multi-shit. While he is in Babu Jan and Annandale and Lusignan, all under them bottom house, preaching consolidation of the race. Preaching consolidation of the race. You see, people got a way of cutting their nose to spite their faces, they say, to prove to others that they are not what they call them. But I don't got a problem. I don't got a problem. I am me. I believe in me and I believe in what I believe in. Then nobody could convince me that I'm a racist, but then nobody could stop me from addressing racial issues or ethnic issues as it relates to black people. Because I know while they're cussing me for addressing the issues of black people, they under the bottom house discussing the issues of Indo-Guyanese. Or like we like to say in this country, when we talk about black, we talk about Kuli people. So now hear yourself. I ain't buying that. But I'm saying my leaders failed to be brash enough to embrace that which would have given them more strength to confront this foolishness named the PPP. Call you can unmute and speak.
Yeah, I learned something new with this muting thing because I never understand. I would turn off my other phone, but I didn't understand. I learned that anyway. Good morning to everybody. And I want us all to stand strong. I want us to understand this is another election that was stolen from us. And I know I'm going to get bad friends. I don't think that we must go back to any more elections. You know why? Because as long as GCOM is the same GCOM as it is today, all our elections will be stolen from us. 2020 was one. 2023 local government election, up to now, Claudette Singh has not said who won the 2023 local government election. I listened to the program Nation Watch, where Mr. Alexander came out and openly said the count was still going on. And let me inform people what I learned from GCOM. Within a certain time, if you feel that you've been cheated with the count, you can request a count. And when you gotta wait until the findings of that count is finished, and then you could conclude. But it did not happen. Now imagine two PPP commissioners signed off. The opposition commissioners did not sign, along with one of the PPP commissioner who did not sign. So out of 6 signatures, they got 2 with the chairman. And I believe in any votes, the most does win. So I don't know what going there. And everybody who is talking the government, this government got thing. moving along. Going to the Guyana judicial system with anything pertaining to an election is a waste of time. I could remember in the Adriana Young case when everybody was talking about the autopsies that were being done. Eventually, that body was being able to leave Guyana amidst all the negative controversy and was able to go up to the States to have a credible autopsy performed. Don't mind the country reveal much because the body was fully well adulterated. Anywhere you end up outside. And I think that with all the findings from the observer missions, all who observed this election prior to the day, on the day of election, it was you're not no war. You're not no problem. I worked in a predominantly Indian place and I was afraid to go there. And even after we left there nearly midnight, we had no problems. They not no wars. Because all as what the observer mission said was already finished beforehand. And I think that the legal minds within the opposition party should try to find a way forward and move further around to have elections in this country be elections of work. And I think that the entire GCOM from the made right up needs to be changed to have a proper thing. You see, this thing, what just now Ben's not done the phone. These things, if you see what one there, if Guyana was not a peace loving country, it man we do not know what may happen in the end. But I hope that the lawyers like Dexter Todd, Dr. Williams, and the others could take this 2025 election to a place where we must so that we can comfortably go to a polling station and cast our ballots and they must come for us. I listened to a young boy making a video and what the boy said, it drew me, and if you got couple more boys with the young man, it will tell you a broad story. And I hope that this is not where 2025 election must end. It must go further afield. I stood up single-handedly when I learned that saw what went on in the 2023 local government. People could use phones in the voting compartment and run the lane alone stood up. And when I went to the voting compartment, I saw no phones or like device must be using them. I do that. And we got to stand up and make certain that 2025 general and regional elections got to get a proper end result. Bye-bye.
Thank you for that call. One of our viewers sent me the message you're seeing on the screen. Good morning. Mohammed called his supporters to defend and protect his cars, but he did not call on them to protect and defend their votes. How instructive. Right? How instructive. And I saw another interesting comment, which I will share if I find it. Carry on, thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Kadaki. Good morning to your viewers. This is something that would always go down in history for Guyana. And Guyanese, don't be fooled. What transpired on the 4th of September was all organized. It was already set. Don't be pleased with the observers trying to blame the incumbent government. That was all planned. It was well organized. All of them had a hand in it. They all got paid because they're not coming to Guyana for free. They're trying to tell people that they observe or they know the government did not have a level playing field. They got caught in 2020. So they're trying to appear that they have no saying in it. All of them did have a saying in it. Compare the numbers from 2020 to 2025. They presumably the Win Party got all the APNU votes. They got some of the PPP strongholds, but yet the installed regime got the same 36 seats. These people have no respect for Guyanese. If they insult your intelligence, they're telling you that the incumbent government lost some regions or some districts, but yet maintained 36 seats. How is that possible? How is it possible that only in the APNU strongholds that people didn't turn up to vote? That was all planned. When the votes in those outlying areas were supposed to be transported to the location where the votes are to be verified, it was already switched. Isn't nothing. People trying to blame the APNU is nothing they could have done. Who's the boss? Who's in charge? Who has the purse? Not the APNU, not the opposition. They were told that the polling clerks could not accompany the box. All that was already done. All of those, the Nigerians, the Bangladeshis, the Chinese, the Canadians, the British, the Americans, they all were involved. They did not want Mr. Norton there because things would have been different. They didn't want to start over. So don't be fooled. This was already done. And Guyanese now will have to understand that this is what you got to live with for the next 5 years. And anytime you go to any other elections, as long as the same parties are involved taking Guyana's land, our resources, this is what you're gonna gotta live with, because they're gonna set the deck against you at all times. They would never want Mr. Norton there. So nobody don't blame Mr. Norton. He did a damn good job within 3 months. A damn good job. Who wants to blame him should make it your best ability to help him to do the job. Volunteer to do the work instead of staying in your house and complaining. This is very, very important. If you go to elections in whenever with the same status quo, it is going to remain the same thing. Who is the boss? Who's the incumbent? Who got the control of the purse? The opposition ain't got a say in it. Don't matter what you do. So one thing Guyanese gotta ask themselves, you're gonna have an inevitable dictatorship where only one set of people gonna rule, nobody have a chance, or this is very important. You've got to talk about separation. Because in the ruling party right now, they promise that If they get back into power, Guyanese gonna clean the gutter. That's the type of jobs they can get. And now those same people who voted for Win, they're all gonna lose their jobs because Win is not president. It's going to be the same thing. Wherever they fair goes. Have a good day, Mr. Kadaki.
Thank you, caller. You see, that comment which I put up there, that the person is showing, is a two-edged sword. It is a two-edged sword. Caller, hold the line, mute, please. I'll talk with you shortly. Right? It is a two-edged sword. The Norton, the Reliance ticket would have done worse because you can't have two elderly persons at the end of the ticket. It's a two-edged sword. I disagree. Because these elections, for me, were more about identity, or should have been made more about identity than age. Youths are saying that the political system was failing them. They never said that age was failing them. They were saying the political system was failing them, not age. And if those two, quote unquote, elderly gentlemen could have presented the kind of manifesto that APNU created and presented to the young African Guyanese population, I think they would have bite. I think they would have bite. So I don't buy that because of the age. At this next election, I think age would matter. At this next election, I think age would matter. Because Mohammed, a young man, now I understand he's about 38, would have had more time. Because remember, these last elections, we didn't see the presence of Mohammed, let me say, for a year. But Ari Norton and David Hines and the rest of us, we were there for years. I'm saying by now in the next general and regional elections, assuming Mohammed is staying in the political thing, there's going to be enough space for Mohammed to work on young people. Not that previous election. And so I think age, the age of the voting population and the age of the politics, let me call it that, the faces of the different political parties and so on, will matter a whole lot leading up to the next elections. So I personally, like I calling it, I think the Norton, David Hines ticket has sailed. I think it has sailed. Maybe we missed the boat. We are looking for a new ticket, considering where our voters are and who our voters are and who our opponents are. Caller, you are free to speak. On mute, please.
Morning, Kadaki. A couple of things. The previous caller just now, I don't agree with her because one, we were seeing exactly where the ship was going, or we were getting enough warning when it comes to Aubrey Norton. Right? Aubrey Norton was likable in the party, not by young people outside of the party. So when a ship going down, the captain of the ship has responsibility. That's one. Number two, so politics now becomes a popularity contest. You have to have Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and you have to have followers, right? If you can't attract young people, then you shouldn't be the presidential candidate. And those old politics has to go through the window. Has to go through the window. This is no more Aubrey Norton. This is no more David Hines. Like what you said, that ship has been sailed, but it's been sailed a long time because politics right now is all about social media. Right? So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
Okay, I have to be a man of my word. And I said we were going to start to scale back the timings of the program. And it is now 29 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. I did say I will stop the program at 8:30. And so this is me basically going to tell you goodbye. Have a great rest of the day. And so on and so forth. What y'all think?
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop located in the East Rheinveld Market Meat section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T&W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more.
Are you hosting an event? Do you need ice, party ice in large or small quantities? Then call us at 622-5933 for the best party ice available. $1,000 per bag. We do delivery. EC Crystals, Sideline Dam, Buxton North. Call to have your orders filled today.
I sit down at home decided to watch some TV, listening to the news like Gordon Mosley. I listening to the things that he say he try. Paying close attention to make sure I hear it right. But when I hear the things that he mentioned on it, I had to declare them again got me confused. I hear some things where the ERC noticing, and it convinced me that people ain't learning nothing. We hear so many times about them big name calling, and they say we are pretend that they didn't learn nothing. But once you're black and you just decide to say a word or two, bet your life on that. They say we are coming for you. Listen to the things you just hear on social media. Only one set of people allowed to talk in one Guyana. I still say nothing, black people in learning. But this is my concern. I hope one day black people will learn. TRC that I would like to know. If any of his members happens to be black people, and if that is the case, I want them to answer this call. Tell me how come none of them ain't got no voice at all. You're showing signs of weakness and you're afraid to be fair. And we see the same thing keep happening year after year. And the day will come when all this nonsense will stop. That will be the day when black people decide to wake up. Not so long ago, something terrible happened. This young Indian man want to kill out all black people by poison. But if his shoes was on the other foot, would have been a big threat. But up to this day, this TRC can't do nothing as yet. How come it's only black people committing cybercrime? When predict on social media.
Again, thank you for tuning in. This has been another program of Guyanese Morning Time. It is 24 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. Do have a pleasant rest of the day. I see your pleadings for me to extend the time, but like I said, we are going to be gradually changing the structure of the program. And those of you who have not started to migrate to YouTube, I encourage you, please start to migrate to YouTube, because one morning you will wake up and not find me on Facebook. Y'all have a good time. Much love. Tough love is love too. Goodbye.